Okay, so today we are going to build a little side handle teapot with a lid and a little bit different spout than the one that I have here. So we're going to start with a slab, and I will have all of these cut for you. The first slab that we'll use templates is 4 inches by 18 inches, and that's going to be the body of our teapot. I'm just going to make it into a circle with an overlap, right like that. And then I'm going to cut both side walls at a 45-degree angle with an X-Acto knife. Cylinder. I'm sealing this edge here. Use a little paddle tool. To reinforce that joint there. And I'll do the same on the inside. Make it kind of a square-ish shape. All right, now I'm gonna make a top and a bottom. Take a bottom I want to go on first. I'll lay my slab here. I'm going to just trace around the shape that I made. Score the bottom. I'm going to score around the edge where it's going to connect. Paddle tool, just barely tap all the way around, kind of dragging it a little bit towards the outside of the cylinder so it makes a little lip, and I can kind of re-seal that so I have a nice connection for the bottom. So now I have a cylinder. It's sort of square shape, but it's kind of a little bit of a different shape in between a circle and a square. Similar to this one, you can kind of see that it's not exactly a square or a circle. It's a combination of both. Now again, I'm going to make the top. So this time, when I made the top, I put about 1 inch more because I want to make this top rounded. Take that like this in the sandbag. Just lightly forming a little dome. And then I'm going to put this in front of the fan for a few minutes so it'll stiffen up before I make that connection. Okay, now we're going to make the spout and we're going to make the handle. The handle is kind of the same template that you would use to make a little cup. Something like this. So I've already cut that. Taking the corner here and here off of the little handles, so I'll have 245s. Also, we have a tool here that will cut those also. Score, and I'm going to make that connection. Cut this so that it's even. Also cut the top so that's pretty even. Piece that looks like this, and you can see that it sits pretty evenly on the table. From there, I'm going to put a top on here. Piece of softer clay. Lay that out. Trace around with my pencil. pour spout here. Set that over to the side. I'm also going to make a spout. I'm going to cut the left side at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to flip it over and do the same to the right side. Just right on the very, very edge. Just so that when they meet, there'll be a little bit more surface area. Attach to the teapot, it'll do something like that. And I'm going to go back over the seam, make sure it's nice and sealed. I'm going to take just the end of this just to make it even. Sharp softening these corners a little bit here after I made that cut. There's a curved lid. Cut this straight down, and when I cut it straight down, it should give me a little bit of an angle, and then I'm gonna cut that opposite angle on the inside of the rim here, so hopefully it'll be seated. Add some feet to this before I forget, because they'll be harder to add after I put the lid on. I won't be able to flip it upside down. When I make my feet, I try to make a couple little almost like a candy corn shape. And I set that down, and then I try to make 4 that are almost the same in size, and then if they're not, I'll just cut them so that they will be. This little seam here. Found where I wanted to put the spout. I marked it off, and now I'm going to make a hole here. Obviously not bigger than the spout. slip here. And I'll add the handle right here. I'm going to carve the handle just a little bit so it'll fit better. When I do that, it's not going to want to stay, so I'm going to use a little piece of clay to let that set up a little bit. I think I'm also going to take a worm and put around there just to reinforce that handle. Use this one, it's about the size of a pencil. Now we need a lid. I'm going to cut that roughly the same shape as the teapot body. Something like that. And this one I want pretty thick, about 1/4 inch thick. That's going to go there. And then out of there, I'm going to carve another piece. So I'll have two pieces, one like this and one like this. And as you can see, this one fits right into this one. Now I'm going to put this back on. I'm going to slip and score and attach it. Fits, which it does. And now, this is why I like this version of the teapot. Now that I have this elevated part, I can cut just a small opening here. And my lid fits. And the last thing I'm going to do is make a little finial to go on top of the teapot. Just taking off a tiny bit of clay just so it has a little bit more room in there. So it's not quite so snug. There you go.